In the top stories, Prime Minister Drew advocates for ZIZ at World Bank spring meetings in Washington, D.C. ICE arrests 5 undocumented Caribbean nationals at Puerto Rico construction site. And Russia launches deadliest assault on Kiev in months amid stalled peace talks. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Thursday, April 24th, 2025. I'm your presenter, Shanique Harvey. Nationally, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, is attending the 2025 World Bank spring meetings in Washington, D.C., where he is engaging with regional leaders and international financial institutions on issues critical to small island developing states, or SIDS. Accompanied by Financial Secretary Hillary Hazel and senior officials, Prime Minister Drew participated in a Caribbean ministerial meeting hosted by World Bank Managing Director for Operations, Anna Biarde. Discussions centered on economic vulnerability, resilience, and private sector development. Dr. Drew stressed the importance of St. Kitts and Nevis's presence at global forums where major decisions are made. He emphasized the need for small nations to influence global outcomes that affect them by stating, quote, "If you are not at the table, you're on the menu," end quote. He called for international financial institutions to adopt more tailored approaches to assessing SIDS, criticizing GDP per capita as an inadequate measure of economic vulnerability. Highlighting regional unity, Dr. Drew encouraged Caribbean nations to present a united front to better advocate for shared priorities such as climate resilience, job creation, and economic transformation. The spring meetings come at a crucial time as Caribbean nations push for greater global recognition of their unique challenges and pursue post-pandemic recovery efforts. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis reaffirmed its commitment to regional solidarity and advancing its sustainable island state agenda. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis has strongly condemned the recent terrorist attack in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir. According to a statement issued on behalf of the government and people of the Federation by Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, St. Kitts and Nevis stands in full solidarity with the government and people of India in the wake of the incident. According to CNN, on Tuesday, gunmen opened fire on sightseers in a popular travel destination in the mountainous destination of Pahalgam in Indian-administered Kashmir. At least 25 Indian citizens and 1 Nepali national were killed in the massacre, which unfolded in a valley only accessible by foot or on horseback. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis joined the international community in denouncing the act of violence and expressing condolences for the lives lost. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis has reaffirmed its commitment to the Budget Boost Wallet, or BBW program, describing it as a vital support mechanism for thousands of households navigating the effects of global inflation. According to information out of government headquarters, the BBW program, which launched in January 2025, currently provides monthly financial support to approximately 23,000 households. The initiative injects an estimated $5.6 million into the economy each month, enabling families to cover essential expenses such as groceries and utilities. In response to recent reports of misuse, where some businesses allegedly allowed purchases of restricted items such as alcohol using BBW funds, the government has implemented enhanced monitoring. BBW funds are intended strictly for essential goods and services, and any violation of the program's terms may result in suspension or legal action for vendors and disqualification for recipients. The government further stated that the success of the BBW initiative relies on responsible participation by both businesses and consumers, and emphasized the shared responsibility in protecting the integrity of the program. For more information, the public is encouraged to visit the official BBW portal at budgetboostwallet.jad.cash. We move now to news on the regional scene. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, agents have arrested 5 undocumented Caribbean nationals at a construction site in Vega Baja, Puerto Rico, as part of a targeted worksite enforcement operation. The individuals detained include 4 citizens of the Dominican Republic and 1 from Haiti. ICE confirmed that all 5 are currently in custody pending deportation proceedings. The operation was conducted with support from multiple agencies, including the FBI, DEA, U.S. Marshals Service, Border Patrol, Puerto Rico Police Bureau, and others. ICE Homeland Security Investigations Special Agent in Charge, Rebecca Gonzalez Ramos, said such operations often uncover broader criminal activity, including document fraud and human trafficking. ICE stated that enforcement will continue in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands in line with current federal directives, emphasizing the agency's focus on national security and public safety. Jamaica has concluded a 3-year U.S. $750,000 initiative with the United Nations aimed at reducing gun violence and its root causes in communities and schools. The Salient Jamaica program, led by the UN Development Program, or UNDP, and implemented in partnership with Jamaica's Ministry of National Security and Ministry of Education, combined firearm interdiction training, legislative reform, and peace-building efforts. Key outcomes included a national firearms control strategy, protocols for handling gun-related incidents in schools, and the country's first community violence audits in high-risk areas. Over 100 law enforcement officers received specialized training, while 140 educators and 70 youth were trained in emotional support and conflict resolution. UNDP Representative Dr. Kishan Kode noted the program's dual focus on enforcement and social change, calling it a model of international cooperation. UN Resident Coordinator Dennis Zulu urged stakeholders to build on Salient's legacy, while the Planning Institute of Jamaica pledged continued support. With 80% of crimes in Jamaica involving small arms, the program is seen as a critical step toward national safety. Funded by 7 donor countries, Salient is part of a broader UN effort active in 8 nations, with Jamaica seen as a leader in implementation. And in international news, Russia launched a massive overnight assault on Kiev, killing at least 9 and injuring over 70 in the deadliest attack on the capital since last July. The 11-hour barrage included 66 missiles and 145 drones hitting multiple residential areas. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky cut short a trip to South Africa and blamed Russia for undermining peace talks, calling the strike outrageous. Kiev Mayor Vitaly Klitschko declared a day of mourning. Emergency crews worked through the night as buildings burned and residents were pulled from rubble. Ukrainian and international leaders condemned the attack as a violation of humanitarian law and a setback to negotiations. Zelensky reiterated that Ukraine had agreed to a U.S. proposed ceasefire weeks ago, but said Russia continues to escalate the war. Finally, in international news, a new AP NORC poll shows rising public concern over President Donald Trump's trade policies, with many fearing they could lead to a recession and higher prices. About half of Americans believe Trump's tariffs will significantly raise costs, and nearly as many are extremely or very worried about a potential recession. Only 4 in 10 approve of his handling of the economy and trade. Trump has imposed wide-reaching tariffs, sparking trade tensions and market instability. While the economy remains relatively strong, consumer confidence is slipping and financial worries are growing, especially about groceries, big purchases, and retirement savings. Support for tariffs is declining, particularly among young adults. Critics argue the policies are hurting both the U.S. and global economies. And now for the weather. Present weather is cloudy skies. Winds are a light breeze of 7 miles per hour from the north. The temperature for today is 27 degrees Celsius or 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Seas are 0.9 to 1.5 meters or 3 to 5 feet. The weather forecast for today and tonight predicts cloudy skies with an 80% or high chance of showers. Sunset for today will be at 6:29 p.m. and sunrise for tomorrow will be at 5:48 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your presenter, Shanique Harvey.